We want the public to show us where they see the future growth and development occurring in the city of Lakeland and the metro area. To get ready for the Mapping the Future event, staff and also the Lakeland Vision staff people have worked together to look at the ideas that have been collected early on in the process from the public regarding growth and development and how we manage that. We're using that as the basis for the mapping event.
One of the biggest challenges we face here in Lakeland, as the growth has occurred both in Tampa and Orlando around us, is maintaining our sense of identity. What I think I heard tonight from a lot of the different speakers and the various tabletop outcomes that took place was the desire to retain that identity and actually take control of where they want to see Lakeland grow into the future and what that looks and feels like to them.
We all want everyone in Lakeland to have good quality of life, good schools, transportation, access to their jobs, access to the grocery store, green spaces, being able to walk when they want to walk or ride their bike to work. So I think those are challenges because we're going to have more and more and more people coming into Lakeland.
So if growth is happening on the north side of town, no matter if you live on that area or not, you will be affected if you live on the south side of town. So we need to make sure that we balance out the areas that we improve, making sure that we're focused on the whole city, not just specific parts.
One of Lakeland's biggest challenges today, I think, is bringing in some diversity into not only the metro area, but just in general with shopping, keeping the young professionals in the area, as myself with a family.
I think it's important that we take a hard look at the infrastructure because Lakeland is growing so rapidly. Things are changing so quickly. I think it's really key that we focus on infrastructure and how we allow people to move around freely in our community.
I think one of the top priorities for managing growth is looking at our needs, figuring out how we can afford those future visions, and managing our water, our infrastructure, our natural resources, and how we want our community to grow.
Clearly, transportation planning is one of the major issues we're facing. We've talked a lot about that in the discussions this evening about the concerns for do we put new roads in, do we have intermodal connectivity, how do we make that connectivity to Tampa and Orlando, once again trying to retain our own sense of identity, and how do we pay for all that? That's a big concern for us, not only as a city manager, but clearly as a community, where we put those resources.
What we're hoping to achieve, or I'm hoping to achieve in today's exercise, is give my opinion on what I think the future growth and how much better Lakeland can be than what it is now.
When they gave us the yellow squares and the red squares and the green squares and said, here, put these squares, we just kind of went, okay. But once we started mapping, we could see what was really happening and what our fantasy was. If we could do anything in Lakeland, what could we do? What would we want to do?
In building a map activity, that quite a Herculean task to try to forecast and vision out on how we might anticipate growth in the community. We're making a lot of assumptions, but I think they're calculated risks and good guesses in terms of how we'll see how this community grows. And so, somewhat overwhelming, but I think it's a great activity to be a part of.
As you listen to the feedback from each one of the tables, and everybody seemed to have sort of the same trend. It was a fun exercise. Somebody said to me, oh my goodness, it's 7 o'clock, and the time just went so quick. It was fun, it was involved, and people had the opportunity to share their thoughts, their dreams for the future, their vision for our city, and I thought it was very well done.
Well, these are always great experiences. It allows a lot of residents to get involved in the program, get their input and direct vision of where they want to see the community grow in the future.
I expected maybe something a little different, maybe easier. As we got into the exercise, there are so many opinions, but again, so many things that we could do. You really take it to heart because you want to make it a better place, and you want to make sure that you are putting that red sticker on the right area to make that redevelopment or increase the use of retail or whatever it may be. But just I didn't think that I would take it as serious, to tell you the truth.
So it was a great exercise to see how our planning department has to work, and then it goes through the process. And I can see why it takes a long time for developments to get approved, because there's a lot that's involved. And this exercise really opened my eyes on how that process works.
So this was really exciting, getting an opportunity to talk with people who actually do community planning, who do development. There's an attorney at the table who does property law. So it was interesting for, I would consider myself a layperson, to have input into this. So this was exciting for me.